Hello, Cultural Foundations of Education class. This is Thomas. This is Thomas May, and I'm currently in my roommate's room. Well, one of them. Anyway, this over here is Delaire.
How's it going?
Oh,
A little
gee.
lower. What's up?
And he has agreed to help me out with this little project thingy. Hopefully, it isn't too sensitive, but well, gotta do it at some point. He's willing to help, and well, now I owe him something. So anyway, uh, here we go. Let's see.
Okay.
It would help. Could do audio. I mean, if you're not comfortable.
No, cool.
All right. So here is our first question. So how would you define ethnicity exactly?
Ethnicity. I would define it as your background, that you're coming from, not necessarily where you grew up, but your racial. It has more ties to racial
More time.
features than I would say where you grew up from. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that's sort of what I was sort of thinking that too. I guess that's sort of a common thing, but that's all right.
yeah,
Let's see. All right, so regarding your own ethnicity,
right.
what would you say is the most commonly held misconception?
Most commonly held misconception.
Yeah, could be positive, negative, whatever it is.
I don't know. I personally don't experience too many misconceptions. However, I would say,
I mean,
think-
I don't even know where the name of Delaire comes from.
right?
I just
Okay,
don't
so
get it.
so from the name, right? I feel like a lot of people think too hard about my name. If you look at the letters, it's Dilair.
Yes, it's easiest.
It's really easy, but you wouldn't believe how many people overthink it because it's not a common Western name.
So
So I would say that is pretty close to something.
that is very interesting.
Right, and they come up with so many different variations of how to say it. But even when I have to do, like, you know how you can do pronunciations, like the letters misspelled, but like the way you say it. I'm sure you know what it's called. I don't forget what it's called, but like it's literally just that. There's no other.
I get you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Have you ever felt excluded because of your ethnicity?
I would say I've been excluded when I used to play in high school. I used to play baseball quite a bit.
Is that related to the shirt for the Eagles?
Yes, it actually is.
Oh, wow. How appropriate.
Coincidental.
What are the odds, guys? This guy actually has a shirt related to soccer. What are the odds?
And I would say that it was hard to associate myself with a sport that was predominantly white in that sense, and I had a judgmental sense, or people would judge me differently in that.
Even while playing it or something, like
Yeah, I mean, you just hear things, and it would mostly be jokes, but that's where I would say I realize that there's a lot of details to things.
And have you ever found yourself excluding anybody because of their ethnicity?
I haven't found myself necessarily like doing that.
At least not consciously.
Not consciously, right? But I know personally, whenever I take like personality tests, I'm actually labeled as an includer. So I've never, maybe if I have, I would say completely accidental, but I've never excluded anyone in that sense.
All right. Let's see. And how important do you think it is to understand like other people of other ethnicities and other backgrounds?
I think it's very important.
I think it's critical myself. But
I think it kind of, whether or not you have an opinion on it, you need to understand it, because you never want to get into a situation where you might say something or do something
And then
That is
everything spirals out of control.
right, that is completely unacceptable. But you thought it was okay because you didn't know. So it's good to be educated on things outside of just your own cultural background. And I think it's a lot of this stuff, a lot of this cultural like diversity stuff that most people aren't exposed to are pretty interesting. Especially if you're, always only lived in one place before. You've never seen anything outside of where you stay.
Unless, of course, your own place of yeah. Even if where you live is kind of diverse,
Right.
you're not going to get everything.
Mm-hmm.
Things are even Houston versus the Bay Area. Even though they're both very diverse.
Right. You have very small, minute cultural differences, and then you have very large cultural
even the
differences.
minute ones. It delves me in the details with that.
It tells you a lot about geography sometimes. Like you say, the Bay Area, right? People eat different types of food, predominantly different types of
talking about
hobbies.
even who's sold and how much is of, and like I don't know. There's not that many people from say Laos or Vietnam that come to the Bay Area, but the Vietnam War they all came to Texas,
right.
Houston, all that.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, lots of Indian transplants and Chinese transplants into Silicon Valley, and that changes things up a lot too.
Right, and that's industry based. And there's New York, I would say is.
Oh yeah.
You go to New York and you're not even in. It doesn't feel like you're in anywhere like that's labeled as one region. It's so diverse of a city.
Yep.
Same with London. I visited London before. I thought
so have I.
London, I feel, is the most diverse city I have ever been in. No one. I find it very hard to believe that anyone even sees race. Like that's how different the people are over there.
That surprised me.
Maybe that's just my experience from my take.
Admittedly, I'm on tour, but I don't know. Seems the more I study this stuff, seems like every time people say that, I don't know. I don't know what to think about all that.
Right.
But thanks a lot, Delaire.
Yeah, no
I think
problem.
I can cut it off here.